Hi, welcome to my channel. This is a weird one. I'm doing it live because I ran out of space on my phone for a second. And I wanted to do a VR to the lovely Robin at Toadstool Tarot. And he did a video quite a while ago, well, 2 months ago, I think it may have been, decks discovered through others on TarotTube. So the idea is that he'd introduce us to other TarotTubers that we may or may not have heard of and show us the decks that he was inspired to purchase from them. Sorry, I don't know where I'm looking. I'm on a new computer screen. Yeah, so having been inspired to, add to his collection from other users, and then just showing off the decks and hopefully perhaps introducing you to other channels as well in the same process. And then through sharing our channels and inspirations, we also might find other people to look for. Let me see if this is working, because as we all know, we need something to check. Since they've changed it up, I'll be very honest, I can't work out where the videos go on this thing. So I think I'm live, I'm really not sure. And if I'm not, then hopefully this will just upload shortly. Because what I can't find is me on the doodle phone. There it is. Okay, that's fine. So you can see me and the picture's okay. That's always a good sign. And I'll just start going through. I do have a lot of decks to get through, so they're here in the background. So I'll try and whip through, and I hopefully have put all the inspirations in the text below. So I hope that if you're not sure of who I'm talking about, you can have a look there. I haven't tagged people in with the @ because I don't know that everyone wants to be tagged in every video that we do. So I have left it so you'd have to type in and find them if you don't mind. I should try and stop doing ums and ahs and wittering on. I'll just put a little welcome message on there. There we go. So I can see what the delay is. I think it's about 30 seconds between me starting and what you see. I'm going to start with one from, and I can't remember what the name of the channel is right now. Becca, I'm so sorry. Is it Becca's Life Larder? Used to be Becca Tarot Night Owl or something. And between you and Simon, to be quite honest, but it was you in the end that got me, was the Tarot Nuages deck. And I really liked what you said and what you had to show. So, oh, hey, Warrior Girl, welcome. So this deck is quite whimsical. It has that very Deviant Moon Patrick Valenza style that anyone who knows me will know that I do enjoy. So this deck, I just really enjoy the color palette even, which is unusual for me. So I was introduced to this one by the lovely Becca and of course Simon. I did try to avoid this for as long as I possibly could. Sorry, that's my webcam. It's shocking, jumping. Yeah, I tried to avoid it on purpose because I knew I was going to like this one. And they both kind of, I don't know, it's like a little pincer movement from the two. It wasn't intentional, but they both showed it around about the same time. And instantly I was kind of like, where'd the second go? When I was purposely I purposely didn't watch Simon. And then Becca did it on like a live, I think. And it was kind of too late then. So whilst she was still on live, I ran off to purchase this one. Yeah, not a ceiling fan. It's just a dodgy computer. I'm sorry, because I'm not filming on any of my usual devices. I'm just using a very low budget webcam on the computer screen. It's not actually designed for this, I don't think. But yeah, this one is the Tarot Nuages, and it's got the wonderful little stories of Hey Bee, welcome, of the little goblin world and the castles. And there's a whole story that goes in the book with this. So I haven't read the storybook to go with this, or the little white book, but I know some people have, and they've talked at great length about what's in this book. But it's just such a lovely little tarot deck for anyone that's wanting. It's good quality as well, a nice quality, you know, in between, middle of the road, not quite spooky, but quirky, with semi-pip, I suppose, looking images as well. This would be a deck. So although I tried not to get this one, and I have it, I've never regretted buying this one. So this one was a good purchase, a good influence from the fellow tarot tubers in the community. Hopefully the flickering's not going to be too bad, but we'll have to see. So here's my shop. I had to go downstairs and get these out of my room. So I have my little shopping basket here. I've been to shops on my shelves. That deck is the Tarot Nuages by Needman, I think. Hopefully that's showing. Oh, it doesn't like it if I get too close to the camera. There we go. That's what causes it to flicker. Probably because I've got so much white space behind me, to be fair. So that's the first one. And I do need to remember to put that one down in my comments below, because I don't think I've added that one. And then the rest I will just kind of do in a random order as I grab them. But they're not going to match the order in, as I said, they're not going to match the order that you see them. So Terra volatile, or volatile, however you want to pronounce this one. This deck, to be fair, was more influenced by the community that I am with on Facebook. And again, another deck that I avoided buying because I was worried that it was going to replace an awful lot of my decks. And no, that's not a bad thing, but I didn't want to have a deck that suddenly I didn't use my other decks. I didn't want everything to become obsolete. And I have a feeling that's what this deck is actually going to do, because for me, it's very selfish and just wants me to use it all the time. Like, I don't get the impression it enjoys talking to me if I've used 5 other decks in between using this one, which is a really weird thing for me to be saying coming out of my mouth. I can't explain that. It's such a bizarre thing that I'm even making that statement. So this one was influenced by, yeah, Facebook, but the expansion pack, which I have, was influenced by a YouTuber. And the book, the reason why I have the expansion pack and the book is because of the influence from, keep these in order, because I quite like flipping through and changing cards in and out of the deck, so it allows me to do it this way. Yeah, so these were from not from Foolish Fish, but they were influenced by Foolish Fish. Can't remember his first name, it escapes me, but he has a great esoteric collection of books, and it put me to shame. He's got this deck in, they're all in little card inserts to keep them in pristine condition. So yeah, that is how the expansion pack got included into my collection, as well as the gigantic book. Big ass book. I've recently kind of shown this on my channel, so you can see this one if you want to have a slightly better look through how my deck looks, how I've put it together. It's not like loads of in-depth about the art and stuff, but this book is another, if you're a Deviant Moon person, you've got the Deviant Moon companion book. This is like one of those. It's something you can use to deter intruders and sit on the coffee table because it's so interesting. So that's a good coffee table book for me. Now, Rochelle at Amethyst Ascensions has inspired a few purchases for me as well through some of her flip throughs. The first one was, which order did they come in? I think it's this order. Was it? No, this order. So the first one was this one, Woman in Total Control of Herself. She has the original indie deck of this, which I don't have, and I didn't know there was an indie version. So when it first came out, I have to admit I was really dribbling all over it. I really like it. It's got a brilliant book. It's by Angie Sullins with the art by Silas Tobal. And then it came out mass market from, who published this one? Llewellyn. So Llewellyn have a few of this lady's decks. I think the Oracle of Hafiz sounds familiar. Somebody showed that recently. I think that's another one. It might have been Julia at Highly Sensitive Tarot. But this deck, sorry about the glare on this one, it's super, super glossy, but it's a gorgeous deck. And I've used this one to do spreads on its own. I do use the book because the cards don't, the words on the cards don't quite always make sense to me, but I use this to do one of the paranormal investigations with Ginger Faye. And for that, it worked really well. It worked really well in like a kind of ancestral haunting type reading. So the images are just gorgeous. The whole kind of feel of this is like now, isn't it? It's this season. It's kind of liminal space season. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, dark nights, warm fires, but perhaps not quite so stormy as what we've just had. Just gorgeous. There is some nudity in the deck, so show that one. It's a bit maybe too nude for before the watershed. But yeah, so that was the Woman in Total Control of Herself's deck, mass market edition. I probably would have bought the indie edition had I have known at the time, but I'm very happy about the mass market edition. That was one from Rochelle, and the second one was another oracle actually that I think I'd purchased before she'd even sort of, no, I hadn't. I've watched it. This one I watched 20 times actually before I purchased. So this one is the Oracle of the Rose by Zara D. Rose, and it's available on Etsy. I don't know what editions there are. Mine didn't come with a book. I'm not sure if it now comes with a book. I know there was a linen version at some point, and this one's a smooth version, one that I got, and it kind of goes in and out of print. So as she runs out and stocks run low, I think she then kind of gathers up and places another order. But this is just a intuitive kind of based oracle deck. So you have keywords, there's numbers on them, so you can do numerology, but there's lots of this kind of moon faces that I'm really loving at the moment, artwork style-wise, and kind of collage-y weirdness, maybe steampunk. I don't know what we call this, to be honest. I just find it, maybe it's like a feminine steampunk. I'm going to call it feminine steampunk. I'll have forgotten that I've come up with this term, but I love this card. And so this is another one from the lovely Rochelle. She's got a great collection, actually. She's got some amazing decks, but we can't buy them all. So I am learning to enjoy people's decks without me having to save up or rush out and buy them, which is a great thing about becoming discerning in your collection and knowing what you do and don't like, I think. However, again, there's so many of these beautiful types of decks out that I can't say that I need to buy lots more now. I saw a couple recently. Is it Rose Tarot? Quite like it, wouldn't mind it, but it's so similar in imagery to a lot of these that now I'm like, I don't think I need it. I think I have enough to keep me going. So I don't know if anyone else has this particular oracle. I don't see it around a lot, but I love using it. I think I was pulling it just for the sake of pulling it to go with my tarot card for the day, just so that I could see the images, because they just make me smile. This would go with the Trompe della Lunas. That's very kind. I don't know that my collection is sensational. Well, I don't call it sensational myself, but that's amazing. Thank you. It's really nice to hear that somebody else enjoys seeing other people's collections. But yeah, this one, I really do like this one. It's not cheap, I will say. This is for an indie deck. This one really wasn't cheap. But it did come from Australia, so swings and roundabouts. It did come quickly though when I ordered it. And I'm just glad I own this one. Another one from a tarot tuber that I saw years ago, and it's kind of doing the rounds again now. So I haven't worked with it still. I have started using or writing in it, but this is the Tantric Dakini Oracle, because I think this one needs a bit of time. I've got the red box. There's an old version and there's this new version. I've got the new version because it comes with a big fat book. I'm not sure that the first edition, which comes in a slightly different coloured box, comes with all the information that's in this book. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen people who've shown the other version have the book as well. So yeah, so this one I do like. Why do I like it? Because it's like a tarot deck, and I have started, yeah. So it's got like the 21 majors, and then it's got 1 to 10 from the suits without the court cards, I think is the right way of putting it. So I have put my symbols on the bottom. Oop, where are we? There's my symbols. And I've now started writing on the card what this card is. So this is the world, and it's called 21 Earthbound. And the information I've taken from the book, or the keywords out of the book, I've taken development, completion of a cycle, actions from choice, free will, meaning of existence. So it's a little bit deeper than I suppose your standard tarot, but you can see the keywords and the meanings in there. So number 20 is transformation, which would be judgment in a tarot deck. And this is, I've put auspiciousness, self-development, psychic transformation, karmic change, and law of attraction, LOA. Had to think about that then. Even for myself, my keywords are not always obvious. The Phoenix, number 19. Where are we? Entertainment, rebirth, selfless love, fire of transformation, mystical attainment. So that's the sun. So it's another great collage deck with some really weird kind of backs. My partner's just come home, if you can hear him talking to the dogs. Look at that one. So we've got this mushroom for the moon, but it's lovely, weird collage decks. Images, the Holocaust for the tower, all those eyeballs coming out of the tower. So as I say, I'm writing on it. I haven't got around to actually flipping through this one and using it. And then for so for the pips so far, all I've done is I've put the elemental symbols onto the bottom corners of them, because that will just help me to work out what I'm doing when I get to them. But that is the Tantric Dakini Oracle. He's singing, I'm sorry. From so this one was Anna at Astro Lady Tarot that first tuned me into this one probably over a year ago. I think I did say I started collecting decks that going onto my shelves that I needed to spend time with, but things that were deeper than the average tarot deck. So I'll probably have an entire shelf of stuff in a minute that I need to come back to and start working with, but that's okay because I'm quite enjoying having them there. For the minute, I can just pull them, look at them, and use them as mundane decks. But I don't know if anyone else does this or if that's just a me thing. But it's my habit. What can I say? Okay. Clair de Lune Lenormand from Anna Tourian. This one, you know who you are. This is the lovely Deanne at Blue Crescent Tarot who introduced me to this artwork on this particular deck. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? I don't read with Lenormand, but this one's, I'm not sure if it's now out of print, but at the time that I ordered it, it was going out of print. So I placed my order because I was worried about not being able to get it. And I just thought it'd be around forever and I'll be able to buy this at some other point in my collection without having to worry about it. But I just find her art style is amazing, her drawing skill, her line craftsman penmanship is just gorgeous, and then added to it the black moodiness and this like kind of chalky scratchy art. It just brings something else to this way of imaging. I mean, look at this coffin. it almost luminesces with this one. Yeah, so this one is thank you to Deanne at Blue Crescent Tarot, who has an amazing little dragon sword collection going on as well. She's got some fascinating decks, actually. She's got some beautiful decks from the community themselves, like creators in the community, which is another we're doing. We are installing operating systems. Oh, don't you just love it when your computer starts to threaten to shut down? Right in the middle. Yes, so that one's from, obviously that's Anna Tourian, but it was Blue Crescent Tarot. So thank you for introducing us that one. I even got a little thank you note from Anna for that order. Justin Michael, and his channel name is the same, and also Joe Montelone, for anyone who's more familiar with him as well, who teaches tarot. So Justin introduced me to this side of the deck, so Triumph's Tarot. And then Joe Montelone introduced me to this side of the deck, which is the Pips Parade. It originally came out as a Majors Only deck. So that's when I came across it on Justin's channel. And then when I saw it on Joe's channel, it had been expanded into a full deck with pips. So on the hearts, you've got chalices or cups. There's little cups inside the heart, so like little refresher hearts. So there you go, you can see on that one. And obviously it's playing cards, so you can pull out the entire playing card deck and just play cards with them. Or you can keep them in, or, you know, read them as a full tarot deck. Or you can just use the majors, and these are the majors. Look at these. I mean, it's just gorgeous. This deck is by, I think, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it's GalelamAle. It's on Etsy. It used to be under the shop called Aweman, as in Aweman, but I normally find it by typing in Triumph's Pit Parade Tarot, and it normally, that image will bring up his shop. So this deck only comes in this size, so it's kind of pocket size or poker size, playing card size, standard playing card size with this one. These decks are absolutely, I can't explain. It didn't take me long to just like shoot across and try and buy these. But look, I mean, the artwork. So I think the artwork is done under the pseudonym of Toxic Scott. I could be wrong, but I think it's all the same person. So I just think he has different aliases. And if I'm wrong, I'm very sorry to Toxic Scott himself. But this deck is just gorgeous. You know, the colors are feminine, girly, fun, summery. I mean, there's your High Priestess. But the majors are something else. They're so fun. I don't think I need to tell you that this is Thoth based, of course. It's pretty much right there, isn't it? So this deck came with a tiny, like this size, half the size of a playing card, majors and miniature majors. So you can pop that on your altar. Okay, this one's going to get a quick flash because I don't know if it's how long it gets on screen before it gets picked up. But yeah, this deck is fantastic. I do like it, and it does come with at the back of the deck, because you might be interested. So you get your little flip cards at the back to help you work your way through. You get 2 joker cards, so you can have your like yes no cards, because they're slightly different colors from each other, different colored hats, different colored rabbits. So if you wanted that as well, that's in there. I can't remember if there's 2 spares as well in this deck, but yeah, the backs. So that one gets a lot of love for me, to be fair, when we talk about it, because I've never seen anything else like it. I've seen some gorgeous decks, but I've never seen anything else like this one. Can't remember how expensive that one was. I know I treated myself as a birthday present to myself. So Joe Montelone, his channel's excellent, and Justin Michael's channel is really interesting as well for information. Somebody in the tarot community that does not need much introduction would be Dawn Michelle. She introduced me to Tarot de Maria Celia. On Etsy, I think it's under the Order of All Man. I think is his shop name. But on my channel, there is a walkthrough of this, and I think I've linked his shop onto that one because it kind of took a while to find. But yeah, it's Etsy. That is Etsy, the Triumphs Pit Parade. But this one came courtesy of Dawn Michelle, and it is US Games deck in a tin. Probably the reason why I bought this one, but it was the colours for a Marseille deck. In general, I've not really been that drawn to Marseille. I got the whole deck upside down, probably. Hanged Man. I just like the colours in this one. So that's why I'll star. So that's why I have this one, because anyone who's kind of realised I don't have a lot of standardised looking decks that have been cloned off each other. And when I say that, I mean, you know, like the RWS that many people really, really love, and that classic artwork. And some people will have that deck, that one deck, in maybe 20 different formats with different tints. Now, that doesn't mean I don't do that, because I clearly do, because I have the Trionfi della Luna in 5 or 6 different tints, but they're completely different colours. And that's the only deck I'll do that with, but I don't have like lots of standard Marseille or RWS or anything else, I don't think, really, come to think of it. So sort of Buscas or Minchiatis. But that one's Tarot de Maria Celia from inspired by Dawn Michelle. Lisa Papez definitely inspired this one, Wisdom of the Elders Oracle. This is a new deck out, I think, by Sean Leonard. She showed it, I was watching briefly, basically. I wasn't paying attention. So she showed it. I kind of saw the backs for a couple of the images and thought I'd take a little gamble on it because I had some spare cash to spend. There's the backs, which I think are just delightful. The colour palette in this is gorgeous. So we have things like Spirit World, and then you have your keyword, which here is omnipresence. Let's find something a little bit. So spirit plate for offering. Here we are under a tree outside in nature. The grandfather sacred fire sun gratitude. So this would go really well with the gentle tarot, which I don't have here. That has been inspired actually by somebody, I'm sure, on YouTube, probably Dawn Michelle, actually, if I'm honest with that one, but I haven't brought it up. I completely forgot about it. Star People for Universal Knowledge. I just think that's just a great one. I love the fact that Star People have been chosen for that one. And I have changed a few of these. So I had Wigwam, which I've changed to Canvas Tent, because I don't have wigwams here. And might have been another one that I changed. Yeah, so I've taken out a couple of words on some of them as well. So this one was pipe, ceremony and prayer. So I've taken out pipe, I've left the word prayer and ceremony on it because to me that makes more sense. So I think there was 4 cards that I sort of messed around with. I had 2 with the word totems in, so I took off the word totems for these. So I now have spirit animal for direction. And there was another totem animal one, which I took off. That might be all of the changes that I've made to this deck. There we go. Power totem animal for protection. So I've just changed it to power animal for protection. I love the fact that we've got polar bears, because that's actually a card that somebody pulled for me a long time ago and told me to harness the polar bear. They're quite ferocious and, you know, survivors. But yeah, this is a really nice deck, the images and stuff. Love and peace. And smudging, I changed to smoke, clearing energy. So yeah, so that one actually now I can use. In the book with this one, however, there's quite a bit of information in the book. I just use this bit here. So new to my collection, actually, very new into my collection. So I'll have to see how I get on with that one. Now then, Kelly Bear and Simon at Hermit's Cave. It's kind of a joint venture now. So Kelly Bear, Tarot in a tin. She has the big deck. I don't think she has the tin, but she definitely inspired me to get the tin because I like tins. So the Halloween Tarot, it doesn't really need a lot of introduction, this one, does it? It's just a really cool, cute little tarot deck. So I think out of all of the kind of Halloweeny ones, this is probably the most popular, most known. You can buy it in the bigger deck, and I believe it comes as a kit and you can get the book with it. This one in the tin just comes with a little white book, which you know, I don't need to use. I use this one all year round. This, if I ever needed a travel deck, this is my travel deck. This is the one that comes with me. So what page of ghosts? So I like this one. I think it's so kitsch and cool, and the colours are amazing. And I haven't edged it. I couldn't make up my mind what to edge it in. Some people have done purple. I've seen green. I've seen orange. I just don't know what to do. So I've left it white. So I need to edge that one. Now, Kelly and Simon at Hermit's Cave, so Kelly Bear and Hermit's Cave, inspired me to buy the Secret Pocket Oracle by Mildred Payne from Patrick Valenza, Deviant Moon. Now, Kelly, years and years and years ago on her channel, she has gone through the deck and pulled out the cards to make a Lenormand, or matched up images to make a Lenormand. So she's done that with this. That was one of the things that kind of inspired me to get this deck, because I felt then that you could use it for more than one thing. It's just very simple images, reading wise. I have said before, I have to get into the flow with this deck. It's not one, like with my decks, I need to be working with them and then I can read with them quite easily. When I stopped reading with them for a while, so I probably haven't picked this deck up for a couple of months now, I find it really hard to tune in. It just takes me a while to get back into it. So you've got Boy, which you get in Lenormand. Not particularly, so you've got herb there, but you know, you could use that as your flower. Yeah. So this deck is a great deck. It's really good fun. I love the colorway of this. I do have another version of it unopened in my magic chest. I don't know if I'll ever open it, actually, which he's just revamped it as well to make it pop even more. So that one's inspired by two channels at the same time. And then moving into Hermit's Cave, he introduced me to soul cards. He has soul cards 1 and 2 made into one big deck. And then I believe he's purchased a second set of soul cards inspired by Mad Witch to create a tarot deck. I haven't done that. I just bought soul cards 1. And these are from, I mean, I've got these on Amazon. These are Deborah Kopf-Chapin, who does, there's another deck, something Faces, is it? And I just thought these are amazing images. It's completely intuitive. There's no book for these. So you literally sit and see how they expand your tarot reading, how they make you feel, pop one out on your table to read. I found that they forced me to think a bit more, to look at the cards a bit better. Intuitive reading, intuitive as in oracles, not my big thing. Tarot, yes, but oracles, I find it, I don't know, there's like a block. I find it a bit harder. So these just help to get me to do that. Yeah, just to come out of my box a little bit. And I know that Chris at Elemental Cartomancy loves to read with these as well. So that's one deck, because let's be honest, Simon will have inspired probably anyone that knows him, a few people to buy a few decks, because he has an extensive collection of amazing decks. So he also inspired me to get Cilla Conway's Shimmering Veil. So this is an indie deck from Cilla Conway's shop. So this is the tarot deck. The symbols and numbers are on the bottoms of the cards, so it's not got titles all over the place. Look at this, lovers. I like the fact there's a tree coming out of it, as well as the heart, and then the kind of looks, you know, the two people, and then the two people also, though, it depends how far away you are, look, but when you get up close, they actually look like wings. So I just find it quite fascinating. There's your Empress, very ethereal. Love this star. Look at this one. No, sorry, Temperance. Temperance. The cards in here are quite inspiring. Oh yeah, look at this. Four of Pentacles. And the wheel, like a galaxy, for the Wheel of Fortune. Judgment. And, you know, she's taken a lot of time to create this deck. Which one are you? 21s. This one's the World. There's another card in here as well, which is why I'm pausing. There's your World. So I think this deck is gorgeous, and it's got it was my first deck, I think, with like holographic edges. I felt really special when I got this one. She's got some other amazing decks. There's an intuitive tarot, which I think I'd really quite like. I don't know if I need the others. There's the Divas Oracle, but I think the intuitive deck would be one that I would love. And he also definitely inspired me to get Everyday Enchantment by Poppy Palin, because it used to sit behind him on his rack, and it had different coloured edges. He had edged all the sides. And I think Poppy did a fantastic job with this. It's a lovely modern, so it's set, it feels like it's set in the urban surroundings of England. It feels like it's from London. So the scenery on this for me is very familiar and feels more homely. And I think that it makes it easier to connect to then, because I'm seeing a lot more modern RWSs out and about with some fantastic imagery on them, and they're very modern and up to date. And I think there's definitely something to be said for it having some resonance to what you see around you, like our Two of Wands here. And she's also got her little sprites. So these decks, she's got sprites in all the pictures. And there's something about, I can't remember what it is, but the edging of the people. It's like the connection to the world or to the universe or something. There's something very specific about that little lineage and edging on them. But yeah, this one is the Everyday Enchantment, and it's got those gorgeous, gorgeous backs on it. And I have taken the borders off, so you can see there's a border here that went all the way around the card. So they were actually very big cards, and I've trimmed them down. Yeah, 10 of Wands. So there we are. That's the decks that's been inspired by Hermit's Cave. I'm sure there's probably more, and there's definitely other things that he's inspired me to purchase as well. No denying that. Next. Yeah, let's do this. So, which way round does this go? Tarot Stash, Gerald at Tarot Stash. And he did a joint review of this deck. I can't remember if it was Beneficial Tarot or Robin at Toadstool Tarot. I can't remember whom. I think maybe Robin at Toadstool Tarot did the Spectro World Tarot. I think one had first edition, one had second edition. This is the second edition. that I've got. Mine comes with a little book, and the first edition doesn't come with a book. And some of the cards in this are different. So this is an Etsy deck. From Spectro Whirl. So it is as it says. This one is, how did I describe this? It's like, it's like a vomit of colour. Without being rude about the deck. I love the deck. I love it. The backs are gorgeous. He's got some amazing art on his shop and on his Instagram feed as well. But these are so gorgeous and so bright and so unlike anything else. 7 of Cups. They're just so unusual. I couldn't help myself. There's Justice. Knight of Swords. I can't explain what these are. I don't have like a, you know, I can't say, well, these are really cosmic or anything. I mean, maybe they are, maybe that's what they're supposed to be, but I just see like gorgeous colour, lovely bright imagery, and they're pips as well. And you've clearly gathered I'm not scared of having a pip deck in my collection. I quite like having them. Sometimes it's easier to read from them than it is from other people. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I hope you're feeling well. And by the way, you're on my deck list. You're coming up, Miss Giselle. Just popping in. I hope you're better or getting better and you're resting. But yeah, so this one is, I think Robin and Gerald inspired this one. 8 of Wands. Bunch of magic crystal wands. Knight of Wands. So that's the Spectro Whirl. I do recommend checking it out. There is a difference in the cards from first to second edition. They changed up a few. I can't remember how many, but I know that they changed like the Lovers, possibly the Moon card, and a couple of other cards with it. Hi Sharon, welcome. Yeah, no problem. And then Tarot Stash and Longman Tarot. So Richie and Gerald did a live with the Forest of Enchantment. They enticed me to check this one out because they were showing the book and all the gorgeous imagery, and they were talking about, you know, all the wonderful imagery in the book and the stories in the book. So I watched the live, and I had been looking at this deck for a while, and I couldn't make up my mind, but it had like these gorgeous packs, and then the images were a little bit storytale, is that even a word? Story-like, fairy tale-like, and unique. So the forge for which one's that? I can't even read. So for the forge for temperance, yes, because you're tempering steel. Kind of got me going. So 3 of Boons. I can't remember what the symbols are. I think 3 of Boons is Pentacles. So that's 3 of Pentacles. The Moonlight for the moon. This one's gorgeous. There's lots of rabbits hiding in this imagery, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the book you can see even more rabbits, because I remember somebody saying count the rabbits, as in how many can you see, or hares, how many can you see in this whole picture. So this one was this was a joint channel expose to me, and again, one that I'm very pleased to have. It's nice, but it's some, you know, these decks I don't use every day all the time. These decks are ones that I pull out every so often. They're not ones I'd use for readings for anyone else either, for that reason, because I'm not that familiar with them. So when I'm reading for myself, I use the books, just because they have so many other things. But also, on the same note as those two, Richie at Longman Tarot also encouraged me, along with Dragorshi, although I think she's now called Galaxy Dreamer, Orshi, to get the Wildwood deck. And I was going to join in with them. The book is, you need the book. I was going to join in with them to do, they started doing like a little challenge. There's another book that goes with the wildwood. We like a walk through the wildwood or something, and then you follow through the cards. So they were going to do that, and that was not the reason I bought the deck, but I was going to join them in that, and then kind of realised that there was too many things for me to do. Hey Jackie, welcome. So I didn't do that, but I did do Richie at Longman. For those who aren't familiar, that I journal. That's the basis of my channel. Every month this year, today I'm not going to be able to find you a single spread. So every month this year, he has done a spread to go with the OM runes. Oh, I'll pull the page that I haven't actually completed. But there we go. So the apple tree being one of the pages. So he does this to go with, so he's following the trees, the oghams, and he creates spreads and little prayers as well to go with the trees. And he's been doing that one every, I think, when does this come round? Is it like every 28 days? I think it is. There's probably going to be 13 spreads that he does, which would be about right, wouldn't it, moving with moon cycles. So yeah, so I've been using this deck dedicated all month or all year to doing his spreads. So I wait for them to come out. He pops them onto his channel, his Facebook page, Longman Tarot. And then I go over there, copy them off and enter them into my journals. And it's a deck that works a little bit differently to everything else. I've kept the borders on. I actually quite like the borders on these. I'm not adverse to them. And this cardstock is quite robust. It's thick and it's glossy. And I have also been trying to use the keywords that are on them. So it does have different keywords on. And I've been trying to use them. I've been trying to embrace those keywords. But obviously the court cards are a bit different. So you've got Page of Vessels is the otter. So then you'd need to look up what the otter is in the book in order to embrace that kind of otter. So Ace of Stones, Foundation of Life. I mean, I think that's just a fantastic description for an Ace of Stones. And we've got what you can't see probably on the screen is there's lots of kind of symbols and markings on that stone. If I get too close, you'll get that fan, the fan-like appearance above me, but it's not, it's just my screen being a bit dodgy. This deck is really cool. So I do recommend it if you want to have a look. And I don't know, I believe this folk man here is actually the Longman. I think that's the name of that piece of artwork. I think that is the Longman, and that is what inspired Richie's channel name. And if I've got that trivia wrong, hopefully it won't cost you the pub quiz. So the Wildwood, Richie Longman Tarot. How long have we been going? Been going for ages. What time did I start? I have a lot back here. I'm sorry. I need to speed up, right? Giselle, Mad Witch. Definitely inspired. It was a joint venture, actually. So I had a book, one of the Tarot Taschen books, which would have been a Simon Made Me Do It type purchase. There was a deck in there, the Death card from the medieval scapini. And I know she bought this deck based on that card, and I bought this deck based on that card. So I'm kind of going to say that she did it, but I have trimmed mine right down. So I've trimmed mine, taken the borders off and made them square. I haven't rounded the corners yet. I do need to round them because for some reason I bash corners. So if they're left square, I damage the card like no tomorrow. If they're rounded, they're safe in my hands. So yeah, so this is the medieval scapini. I'm just going to say that Mad Witch inspired this one. And I think the artwork is very, very cute. Whimsy, funny. It's got like a sense of humour to it, which is really cool. And I think Giselle has Shakespeare Tarot, and some of the images in the Shakespeare Tarot feel like they might cross over or look a bit like some of the images in this one. There is an original version of this deck. This isn't the first version. This is the one that you can buy now. And I'm told that the first version of this deck has a much clearer image on it. Like the faces, the facial features are clearer, but I can't say that I have an issue, particularly with this one. yeah, it might be nice to have, you know, a clearer face, but for the amount of time that I'm using it, this one's good for me. So I just think that the pips are quite humorous with the images. So semi illustrated pips. I mean, look at this 8 of coins. So you've got like the wife sat below with the child while the father's up the ladder doing some kind of DIY, making the house around them. Cute and nice. So yeah, medieval scapini tarot. This one is a US Games deck. Who else? Have I missed anything? Oh, hey Beth, how are you? Welcome. Salad. Oh, nice. Somebody downstairs is cooking me some dinner. Don't think I missed anything else. Weird dreams. Oh, I had some really weird dreams lately, to be quite honest. I know the number 9 was in it, and there was like weird discs with the number 9 on it and other numbers, and 9 being the prominent thing, but it was just so bizarre. I just remember these discs kind of flying around and floating around, and I just don't know what they were doing. But all right, Robin, Toadstool Tarot, deck number 2. The White Witch Tarot by a person whose name I can't pronounce. Marjadusa. It's there. So I think the moon's got something to do with all the weird dreams, you know. So yeah, this one has poetry in the book. It's gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Mages only, gilded. Here we go. So it's a bit like the Clair de Lune Lenormand from Tourian in a way, just because of how it's depicted on the black background with that kind of ethereal glow, like chalk-like imaging. But I really do enjoy this for sitting and kind of looking into as a deck. Yeah, I think it was Robin and Ben, Beneficial Tarot, talked about this one, or I might have actually already just bought it at the time that they got it. I can't quite remember, or it all happened, you know, around the same time. So I'm just saying that they inspired me. I know that it had been talked about by one of them prior to them doing like a joint channel view on it. And that was really interesting, where we all got to join in and say what we saw in the images, because like this one, there's so much that you can see in there. And that's what I love about this deck. So, and that's my only, I think that's my only Mages only deck that I own. So, but I do enjoy that one. Keymaster Tarot. Multiple channels made me do this one. Masher's Musings, Hermit's Cave, Elemental Cartomancy. And I know I've seen it somewhere else, and I can't remember your name, so I am sorry. I've had this for ages. And I think I've said before, this one feels too good to use. I'm scared of damaging it, but it's a mass market deck and it's not going to get damaged. Because I'll just buy another one, right? But it's got these gorgeous backs on them. It's a pip deck. There's your devil. Ace of Cups. You've got gold foiling in the cards. Get rid of some of the dark cards a minute. Here we go. So there's your clubs or wands, hearts or cups, spades, swords, hanged man, temperance. So yeah, this is just an absolutely gorgeous deck. I say it's mass market. I think mine came from Amazon, AGM. It might have been £28, but it comes in a nice magnetic sturdy box. It's got a nice little book with it. Does have like a little bit of like prompting as well in the book. So if you're liking your pip decks, this one is up there with the Triumphs Parade for me. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I don't see this one shown a lot on channels either, so I don't know how many people have this one. But yeah, multiple channels inspired me to get that one. Masha's Musings, as I've mentioned her, or Masha's Musings. So I don't have it out because it's in my box locked away and I haven't got the key. But the Trionfi della Luna Marseille decks, it's another unusual one, right? But that one's mass market, so it's cheaper. So the Patrick Valenza, my Deviant Moon collection, she had the TDL in rose and she did a massive video on it and it was really nice to watch, and she inspired me to buy the rose because I couldn't make up my mind if I wanted rose or not. So sorry, I've got logs being delivered downstairs. So she inspired me to buy them. So I've only got the aqueductical picked illustrations one here. I don't have the Marseille version, but this is the reverse image colouring to what will be the rose, which is why I thought it might not matter quite so much. So just sort of, I show a couple of cards because I'll give you a rough idea. But yeah, she encouraged me to get that, and I'm so glad she did because it makes me smile. I love that deck so much. It's almost like a home deck. The colours are just so delightfully delicious. Of course, with this one, all the pips for the Marseille have been drawn and illustrated on. So I'm not going to show you the pips because... But there is a walkthrough comparing multiple versions of these decks on my channel, of course. So if you want to see more about those, they are there. Yeah, they're definitely Marmite decks. I love them. I absolutely love them. Yeah, I understand that not everyone's cup of tea. And then she also inspired me to get the Rana George. Now, I thought this was an indie-only deck. I had no idea US Games had picked it up. Amasha did. She had Rana on her channel. So I bought the Lenormand book to go with it. It's not on... No, it's not on that shelf behind me. It's downstairs on the other shelf. So it does come with a book in here. And I think Rana did a course, and I know that Masha definitely went on Rana's course. But these are beautiful, beautiful cards. Again, look at the level of detail. I think it's the gold foiling that makes it feel more special. And again, I don't read with Lenormand, but I suddenly have a collection of Lenormand here. Because I will one day. And this has like some extra bits to it, so it's got the playing card reference in them as well, whereas my Clair de Lune hasn't. So this has got the playing card references to them and some other symbols, and there's personal details in this deck from Rana's life as well. And I like the fact that it's through archways and gateways, so it feels like you're looking through gateways and arches. And of course, because this one's mass market, it's not expensive anymore. But years ago when I looked at it, I think it was, or I only looked at it through an indie version, so I didn't get it. But this one came in, and I was like, oh yeah, we're buying that one. She said, wait a minute, she said US Games. And it comes in a kind of, a little flat pack 2-part box with a book. And so yeah, so that's a couple from those guys. Jonathan Bailey and Scott Scorpio Sun Tarot have a joint deck. So they both inspired me to buy the Cosmic Visions Tarot. I haven't used it. You won't have seen this on my channel yet. Jonathan loves this deck. He was using it a lot. So I used to watch it on his channel and kind of drool over it. But I felt it was just slightly off my price range, being an indie deck. And it's got edgings on it. It's got these amazing backs, but it's that kind of like rose petal finish, but the sticky, clumpy rose petal finish. So it does need some work. But Scorpio Sun Tarot was showing it, and at the time he was showing it, the creator had a sale on their website, like 40% off or something crazy. So off I ran. And that's why I got it when I got it. So it's in my collection for that reason. But it's just got these amazing like pops of color to this deck. So if anyone's familiar with, is it the Haunted Mansion? Haunted House? Haunted Mansion? Dark Mansion? Dark Mansion. It is, isn't it? Second edition rose petal finish cardstock. It's like that. Yeah, so I think these are just another really lovely, colourful, not your run-of-the-mill tarot deck. The Divine 22. We do have a full set. That's not the full set, it's an extra card in the deck. There's the full. So yeah, another joint venture of inspiration. So I do like to shop around sometimes for my decks. So I don't just, you know, always impulse buy. Thank you for popping in, Sharon. Lovely to see you. Have a lovely weekend. We have the Ancestral Path Tarot. Definitely Jonathan made me do it. Julia Kusha-Watts' deck. This one, at the time I purchased this one, it was still available in this market. This is the US Games edition. It comes with the little white book, so I don't have a big book or anything that goes with this. It's a massive deck. Absolutely huge. But it's a great deck. She has a series on Amber's channel. Amber, can't remember the rest of the channel name. Amber, God, sorry. But yeah, so where she goes through the book and reads it out. So there's a like a 4-part, 5-part series that you can listen to about this deck and the story that's behind the cards. So it's got a few different kind of people in it. Considering when this came out, it was probably quite diverse for the time that it came out. We've kind of got like that, you know, regal English, Guinevere, King Arthur type section. We have I don't even know, I don't want to get it wrong. It feels like it then goes over to the Oriental side of the world, and then we also pop into Egypt direction, and then across to what feels like America. With, you know, these cards. But because I don't have a book, I can't comment further on it. We have like our Empress. So I like this one. Thanks for joining in, Marika. Have a lovely weekend yourself. What's that one? Not your run of the mill. Oh, well, we could start I guess not your run of the mill decks. I wonder if there is already a tag out there for your run of the mill decks. Might be. So let's speed up. So that's one from Jonathan. He also inspired me to buy the Circo Tarot Mass Market deck. And you know, I haven't used it because by the time it arrived, a bunch of other decks came in and I've got around to using it. But this one is quite fun. The court cards, this is one with the unusual court cards in it. So some people, this is another Marmite court cards deck. People either love or hate them. Let's find the moon card is lovely. And the sun. Where are we? There we go. So we have the Page of Swords. Yeah, I'm aware a lot of people weren't able to do this. And then we have the Page of Wands. Okay, so these are coloured. I think this is part of it, isn't it? And you've got your Page of Cups and your Page of Pentacles. Then you go to your Knights. So your Knights are kind of unusual dress. I don't know what to call it. But they're all in their colours of the elements. So and then you have your Queen. Now I'm not sure if the Knight has two sides to them, and then the Queen and King become the left and right of the person. I haven't worked with it, as I say, so I wasn't sure if that's what they were doing with the court cards in this deck. It was just my kind of like first take, because they're facing one direction and then the kings are facing the other direction. So I wondered if the way the knight was dressed, it was like Queen and then King. But oh, I could be completely wrong with this one. I don't dislike them, so I just haven't got around to pulling it off the shelf to use. So this one has to come down and be used, 2024. I know I'm not going to get around to it this year. So for next year, it needs to come off the shelf for use. If not for my own kind of sanity. And then the other one that Jonathan definitely got me into was this one. So the Transparent Oracle by Emily Carding. Again, I haven't actually used it because I wanted to spend time with the cards. And this is, so you see there, transparent imagery. And the idea is you layer up the deck as you go. So you might have a card like this, then you'd take your next card and you'd layer it on and you'd create an image. The only thing Emily has said about this deck when she sees people using it is she likes to, they've got numbers on them, which you're probably not going to be able to see. There's a number on the bottom, and she likes people to match the numbers. So if you're going to layer up two cards, she'd expect you to match the numbers and the circle to create what's going on in there. She probably wouldn't expect you to do that, but I thought that's what you do with it, You'd place your two images to create another layer completely. But I think this is a fascinating concept. So you can take your tree and put your next image on top. So this one is very different, and there's lots of them. I think, how many was there? It's 70 something. Is it 76 cards? I think it's 76. There goes my transparent oracle. So I think it's 76 cards in the deck. So I need to pick those up. I'll wait till we've come off the line. Keep going. Martin's Musings. The Arcane Warrior by Levi from Masculine Intuition. This is his deck that he put out as an indie version. So this is gorgeous. I know a few of you are probably familiar with this deck, but it's really nice. So Arcane Warriors has got his book with hints on how to use cards for spells and something different, because the cards already have a mantra on them. So you can use this as an oracle or as your learner deck. So it's already telling you how to read the card on the card. So the teacher, I am the keeper of knowledge. Six of Cups, I find joy in nostalgia. So he's kind of got those words in there, and aren't they just gorgeous images? This is to me a really summery spring deck, just because of the colours really. Ace of Cups, I have access to the power of water, and this is that rose petal finish. It's slightly bigger than a tarot deck. I say slightly bigger. What's it about the size of? It's probably about the size of Shimmering Veil by Cilla Conway. Got your oracle. I see beyond the veil. Devil, I refuse malicious temptation. So you can see why it's a masculine deck. Yeah, that one I do need to do something with. Makes me jump every time. 8 of Cups. I'm ready to move on emotionally. So Levi did an amazing job with this. This deck is still available through his channel, I think, and his links. So he's got this one, and he's got his oracles. He's got a couple of oracles out now, and it's got that lovely matte gold edging that's nice and soft on the hands when you use it. So yeah, Martin's musings that made me buy this one, and Levi really. Nancy at Crone's Intuition. Didn't take me long at all. She encouraged me to go and search for the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot, another mass market deck, one that took 10 years in the making for this creator. I have only used it for 2 or 3 spreads. The backs are very unusual and trippy, and the cards are, again, unusual. So there's no names on the cards, but they do have, for those who've realised I like my pick decks, they've got the playing card placements on them, which I really enjoyed. And the art is intricate. Again, very different to standard decks. This is really, really beautiful. One that's on my shelf to be pulled in the not too distant future. I love that. Look, 7 of Cups. What's got here? The 5. The 5 of Cups. It's hilarious. This is our High Priestess. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for coming. Have a lovely evening. So yeah, so Nancy at Crone's Intuition. Thank you very much for this deck. She does some lovely walkthroughs and kind of reflections on her channel. And sometimes she has chats with the lovely Mel at Woolly Hermit as well. Amy at Mystic Rose Tarot introduced me to this one. So this is by Martin and Teresina Bacons. So the 5th tarot, not the 5th element, but the 5th tarot, and it does have the 5th element in it, which is the Lotus deck, I think. Comes with a really nice little guidebook. Hey, how are you? Welcome. This one comes with a really nice little guidebook. And I have the bigger book that goes with this just to explain a bit more about the artwork and things. But this is a hand-drawn deck, I do believe, by Teresina. And it's got keywords on it as well, and obviously the borders. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the borders on these, but I think they're quite useful. I mean, you know, you could take them off, but the backs are like that. Here's the Lover's card. So again, this is another deck that was drawn a long time ago. So it feels like it was really advanced for its time, because we're seeing this stuff now coming out in new decks. But this stuff was out. When did she do this? I mean, like Julia Kusha Watts, was that one 95 when she had her Ancestry deck out? It's tarot. I feel like this was started a long time ago, but I could be completely wrong. Second printing was 2020, so I think I've got the second printing. Maybe 2012? Maybe 2012. Yeah, so as I say, it's been around for a while. It's got like a lovely, soft sheen edges to it as well, like 4 of Fire or 4 of Wands in a light. It's just really pretty. Quite earthy, this one, and really soft artwork. So yes, so this one was Amy at Mystic Rose, who's got some really good walkthroughs and deep dives on some decks as well on her channel. One of them being the Tower of the Holy Light, which I have on my shelf. Do plan to spend a bit more time watching her videos while she does her deep dive. Now, Honey Rose. Oh, name's just flown out my head. Honey Rose. Can't remember her name. Oh, sorry. Vintage Wisdom Oracle. So she has this one, and she had there's another one, Muses Oracle, Vintage Muses Oracle, maybe. Comes in a little zippy bag, really expensive deck. And she has this one, and she put the two together, and that helped me decide instantly I wanted the mass market, not the other one, because then I realized that the Muses didn't work so well as keywords for use. Rose Honey Ritual, yes, thank you. That's the badger. The fifth tarot. No, the fifth tarot doesn't get seen a lot. It's from their website, direct from their website. www.thefifthtarot.com or www.beaconsoflove.com. What I will say is their website is a bit weird to access and navigate. It got stuck for me, so I had to then email them and have it done through email, and then they PayPal billed me and sent it. So if you're unsure of their website, just message them and then they'll come back to you. And they were really great. In fact, Amy Mystic Rose Tarot has a walkthrough of this on her channel, and she had them on as well. That was when I watched it and saw it live, and went off to purchase a deck. But this one, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, is really nice. I've cut it down. I've made it smaller. I've edged it. And this one kind of fits in with a lot of the vintagey, collagey decks that I have been using lately. Clearly, that's my mood at the moment. I've gone from like bright, garish colours to moody colours. Probably fits my mood. But yeah, this one I quite like. It would go really nicely with the Rose Oracle that I've got over there, the Woman in Total Control of Herself Oracle, straight off the top of my head. The Beloved Dead Oracle, this would probably pair up gorgeously with, and the Relative Tarot, the other one by Carrie Paris. So I found that the keywords in this made more sense than the Muses Oracle. Thank you to Rose Honey Ritual. What's her name? Because I've got Theoric Garden Goddess and then thingy Rose Honey Ritual. I need to check I've put it correctly in my comments below. And my last decks inspired by other channels. So Tarot of the Cosmic Seed, first edition that I had my eyeballs all over and was lusting over was an Amethyst Ascensions channel. Had me first introduced to this deck. However, I had no idea version 1 was out of print. Version 2, second edition, was brought to me by Sandra at Spirit of Avalon. So it still has it has a very different back, has the gorgeous sides. The box is a different colour, so I've no longer got the gorgeous pink box. And some of the cards I think have been altered or changed or upgraded inside as well. But this is a beautiful deck. Yeah. I wouldn't be disappointed if I happened to get my hands on the first edition as well, just because I love the backs on that first edition. They were so cool. Yes, I'm a back shopper. I like the backs to be interesting. You know, I've got to look at them when I'm shuffling. I can't look at the fronts of decks when I'm shuffling, which is why I'm not great with double-sided decks when I'm working with them. They have to be really quite, like, one side has to be really innocuous for me to be able to do that. So yeah, this one was Spirit of Avalon and Amethyst Ascension kind of combined. But Spirit of Avalon was where I made the actual press and purchase. And because we're in the UK, I got this one from Little Red Tarot shop, I think. Or it might be in the boutique. I feel it might be a Little Red. This one might be Little Red, but the boutique as well also had some indie decks. So those two, Little Red and the boutique, were selling indie decks. And then Oneness Emporium in the UK sells all the other kind of mass market US games, Llewellyn decks, and you're able to get them at the same time they release in the US if you buy them from Oneness Emporium, rather than waiting months and months and months on a wait list for Amazon to send them out. So I think that's just so great. So yeah, there we go. That's the Cosmic Seed, or Tarot of the Cosmic Seed, 2nd edition. And the last deck, so we can wrap up and we'll go home, is the Poe Tarot. Anyone who knows Sandra will know that she has a deep love of Poe. And she had this deck on one of the lives that we did, dark decks. So she talked about this one and another Poe deck that I think she has. And at the time I was just like, oh, no, not interested. I don't know what happened, but clearly then I became interested. So I quite like the black and whiteness of this deck. Am I showing you the deck upside down? I think I'm showing everything upside down today. So the Hanged One, and you have quotes for anyone who doesn't know Poe and his work and stuff. So you have quotes on the bottom of each card, and the artwork is just really nice, simple line drawings, which is again something else I really like. It's probably perfect for right now. Haven't used it for anything major yet. It reminds me a lot of the Black Line Tarot by Agni Presta Burning in its kind of style, which is a deck that I love very much. But what I do like about this one is that the quotes, so for the Magician, it says, but the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. So if we go to the book for the raven, see, I've done it already. I've already told you, I've given it away. So for this card, there are some insights about what was picked, and then we have the keywords upright and reversed. But then at the back of the book is where the magic happens. So when you go to the big bibliography at the back, it tells you what writings. So we've got the Magician, it tells us the Raven, and it tells us that it was January 1845. So what you can then do is you can look up the quote that one comes from. Now I happen to have the Raven in a book over there on my shelf, so I can go and grab my book and I can read along with it. But that's what I liked about this, was so you could then go and do like further readings. If you wanted to read more of his writings, you could see where they come from, or if you happen to have a book on Poe, you'd be able to just look up that particular story because it's in here if you didn't recognize the quote. So yeah, so I quite like that. So I do actually quite like the black and white, so I now have 2 black and white decks in my collection. But I think thus ends the decks in my collection that have been inspired by other tarot tubers to add to what I have. This one might change your mind. This one actually, the whole Poe story, I'm not a big fan of, although I did watch that series with Mask Killer with Kevin Bacon. Really enjoyed it, actually. Just like I really enjoyed the Hannibal Lecter series as well. Right up my alley. That's my weekend night TV. But this one, it's a really nice little deck. It's got nice colours, and image wise, I don't know if you are familiar. Nobody inspired me to get this one. This was my first ever Kickstarter. But this is one of my other favourites for a deck. So this one's on Etsy. This one's got silver edges, nice simple backs. But this one, I think, would probably look really nice next to the Poe Tarot. I really like this one. So that is the Black Line Tarot on Etsy. First edition, printed 2020. I like that one. Yeah. Ooh. But this one is very similar, we'll say. Obviously, I can't remember. This one's not that cheap, actually. I think this one might be like 40 quid. That one on Kickstarter back then was probably 60 quid. I think it's still on Etsy, maybe for around £60. But she's a London-based person, so my postage was really cheap for me because she's local. So I think I had to pay like £5 postage back then before they put the postage up to £12 for recorded posting. But yeah, from an image perspective, I think this one's really kind of interesting. Yes, like you've got quills, boars, scrolls, but once you've worked out what they all are, it kind of makes sense, really. And then the quotes are just a little bit extra, so you don't even have to read the quotes. I think 5 of Wells is cups. So 5 of Wells. The skies, they were ashen and sober. The leaves, they were crisped and sere. The leaves, they were withering and sere. Assuming that says sere. It was night on the lonesome October of my most immemorial year. But I'm not a big, like, apart from watching a murder series on a cult based on Poe, I'm not that familiar with Poe, to be fair. So I can't pretend any further than that. But yeah, there is some definitely kind of dark imagery in there. But there we go. And thus ends my walkthrough of the decks that have been inspired into my collection from fellow tarot tubers, which I'm very happy about, and I thank each and every one of them for doing such tremendous jobs on their channels and inspiring me to have these in my collection, many of which I will have hours of fun with, and some which I still haven't yet to pull out and learn and work with and spend time with. And again, they will provide me with hours of fun and journaling at the same time. Thank you for those who popped in and out to join me and in chat. It was lovely to see you all there. And I will see you around sometime. Have a fantastic weekend. It's Friday night here, and I am off to watch, I don't know, something horror-y downstairs on TV and have some dinner. So yeah, much love. Take care. Bye-bye.